You're watching WLOX News This Week. Here's David Elliott.
Well, everybody, thanks so much for staying with us. Change is coming to the Mississippi Coast Coliseum in Biloxi. Coliseum going cashless. The cost of parking also going up. This will be on September 20th with the Guns N' Roses show. Joining us to talk about all of this, Mississippi Coast Coliseum Executive Director Matt McDonnell. Matt, we'll get to that in just a minute, but we just came off the Doobie Brothers this week. You have Guns N' Roses coming up. You've had some great country shows. You've had your typical fairs and festivals. The building seems to be simmering and buzzing right now in terms of events.
A lot of events that were very successful over the past 2 years. Coming up, we start our new year October 1st. The coming year is going to be just as good. More shows going to be announced this month, later in the month, but we've got some country acts that we're going to announce for first quarter, some classic rock and roll acts, some active rock bands that are going to be playing in the building in the first part of 2024. The Seawolves are coming back. We've got college basketball coming in December with USM and Ole Miss.
That was a good get.
No, that was a get because of Coach Jay Ladner. Let's call it like it is.
But you need to do more of that.
Well, Jay wants to play.
I want a Louisiana-Mississippi tournament.
Well,
where you can bring in some Louisiana teams. You can bring down.
You got to have promoters that are willing to put that money in for guarantees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think sport. I think if you guys could bring some more of these college games, I think that would be fantastic. So you gave me a tour before it even opened of that new parking area in the southwest corner where the old Holiday Inn was, and I was blown away. And now it's complete. And
almost complete.
Well, almost complete. You got lighting.
Lighting and security cameras are coming in next. We'll be starting that project, and that's not just for that lot. That's throughout all of the parking lots where we're going with LED lights, more efficient, higher intensity, and security cameras throughout all of the parking. Because the main thing that we have to concentrate on, not only do we want to, but we have to, is safety. If people don't feel safe, they're not coming.
Well, let's finish the appetizer and move on to the entree.
Go ahead.
Your parking goes from, it's been $5 for 100 years. Suddenly it's now $10.
No, you're not correct.
Well,
no, you're not correct. Let me correct you.
Well, it hasn't been 100 years.
No. We've been $10 for major events for several years now. Okay, it takes upwards of 30 people to.
Well, wait, for $10 for like what?
Concerts, festivals.
Oh, I never pay, so I didn't know.
Oh, you've been beating the system. We're going to have to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. But
your people wave me in. So $10. Now we have these fees on top of that. So it's $10.
Just taxes.
Plus.
Just
taxes.
Just
that go to what?
Taxes are 7%. State of Mississippi.
Sales tax.
Yeah.
So that's what the additional charge is going to be.
That's it.
And people don't pay cash. They give them their debit card when they park.
That's correct. But we're also going to take cash, okay? But here's what we found.
Wait, for parking you're going to take cash?
Yes. Okay.
For how long?
For as long as we need to. What we found is that the cashless is going to work the best for food and beverage, okay? And we'll get into that in just a second. But let's finish with the parking. We've been at $10 for major events for several years because it takes a lot of staffing, a lot of manpower. Sweatman Security doesn't come out there and volunteer to work. They have to get paid. Mississippi Power wants the power bill paid every month, and that keeps going up every year.
So this 7%, this tax, this fee isn't new?
It's on top of the credit card charge, yes, that will be new because we haven't taken credit cards out there.
But there'll be a transaction fee for that?
No. Just the tax is going to be what we're charging. Now, the reason we're doing this is that with the technology that's available, you can tap your card and you're good. Move on.
Yeah. So there's no putting in your PIN. There's no putting in your PIN and getting approved.
Tap the card and go. Okay. Swipe the card. Go. No change transactions, and that's another thing.
And all your people are trained on these new card readers? Because I imagine you get new devices.
They will be. That training will be taking place over the next 6 weeks as we transition into that. All right, but the main thing is to get them in quicker, to get the traffic off of Highway 90. Okay, we have trouble sometimes getting traffic control out there, and so therefore we have to do everything we can to speed that process up.
Okay, well, let's go into the concessions. I walk in, I get my Milk Duds and my bottle of water, and I usually give the guy $20. And now I have to give them my debit card.
That's correct.
It's cashless.
That will be cashless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how's that going to be faster?
Well, first of all,
Again, you don't have to put in your PIN or anything?
You don't have to put you won't have to put your PIN in. It's a swipe or a tap. Okay, there's no change to be made, so therefore you don't have to fumble through your wallet to find the correct dollar amounts if you want to pay exact. There's no change errors coming back to the customers. Okay, the servers have an opportunity to collect a little more in tips, especially the bartenders. Credit card transactions usually yield a higher ticket amount than a cash transaction, and the amount of credit that we're doing now surpasses 80% of our gross sales on any given event.
So I think people who know, and I told you a story, I went to Madison Square Garden and I take out a $20 bill.
And they looked at you like you were a caveman.
That's what I said. They looked at me like I was a caveman.
Well, most of you...
Because I had cash. So you're saying it's like all around the country now?
Oh, listen, we're one of the last buildings of our size to go cashless, okay? There are a few buildings, but very, very few. The Wharf in Orange Beach, Alabama is cashless. Most of your SEC stadiums are cashless. The Superdome is cashless. Smoothie King is cashless. Cajun Dome is cashless. These are all venues that we have to compete with. And because of the fact that they can generate more sales in food and beverage, that gives them an edge on enticing the promoters to come in to do more shows.
People seem a little resistant to this, though, for one reason or another.
Well, some people don't have credit cards.
Yeah.
So we have a solution to that.
And what's that?
It's called a reverse ATM. We will have machines in the Coliseum and the Convention Center to where if you want to put $40 into the machine, it will print you out a card with $40 on it. No fees. It will be a gift card.
What vendor is running all of this new electronic stuff?
Oh, those machines have been around for years, Dave. Okay, for years, where you could load money into a machine and get a gift card.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically what this is.
Okay.
And that gift card will be good not only at the Coliseum, but at a gas station or anywhere else.
Well, that's
you wanna
cool.
use it.
You know what? How about this? How about to phase it in instead of dropping it like an atomic bomb on September 20th? If you would have gone with
that's kind of what we're
half the one side of the building cash, one side of the building card for concessions.
That won't work, and here's why: because then the person that doesn't have the card that's on the wrong side of the building, we're going to make them go all the way around the building.
It's good exercise.
Yeah, right. I got you. Tell that to the guy that stood in line for 10 or 15 minutes waiting to get a drink or to get a hot dog.
Okay.
You want to service your customer as fast as you can. You are going to be able to use cash in the parking lot. You are going to be able to use cash to buy tickets. You are going to be able to use cash to buy merchandise. However, very few people are doing that, and we're seeing the trend shifting to credit more so every single year.
Well, Matt, I wish we had more time. It's a great discussion. A lot of people are scared of this cashless society.
If they order on Amazon, they're cashless.
I use my debit card everywhere.
If you go to a hotel,
it's
cashless.
Okay. It's the Coliseum beginning September 20th, these new changes going into effect. Matt, thanks for coming by and being with us. We sure do appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave. A lot of shows coming. Stay tuned. We've got a lot of announcements coming this month.
Alrighty. Mississippi Aquarium opening its expansion, what this means for the tourist attraction.